Welcome back. The world news begins with the Inspector General of Police, Ijeoma Egwuatu, calling for a vital meeting with the force management team and tactical squads to tackle the growing nationwide insecurity apprehensions. VOP News gathered that criminals have been unlawfully entering residences and abducting occupants within the confines of their homes. The situation caused heightened tension peaked when certain Abuja residents, including a 13-year-old secondary school student, lost their lives due to their inability to meet ransom payment deadlines. In a statement by Force Public Relations Officer ACP Muyiwa Dejobi, the Inspector General of Police conveyed profound concerns about the incident and underscored the necessity for resolute measures. The IGP expressed deep concerns over the unfortunate event and emphasized the need for decisive action to curb such heinous crimes. During the meeting, which centered on a comprehensive review of current security challenges, strategic planning, and the deployment of tactical resources to tackle emerging threats, the IGP emphasized the need for a coordinated and intelligence-driven approach to address the evolving security landscape. He also stated that tactical squads were birthed and directed to intensify efforts on the deployment of proactive measures to prevent criminal activities and also protect civilians. Meanwhile, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has disclosed that his administration will not rest until agents of darkness causing insecurity in the country are completely eliminated. Tinubu spoke today at the official unveiling of the book titled Working with Buhari, Reflections of a Special Advisor, Media and Publicity 2015 to 2023, which was written by Femi Adesina, the former spokesperson to former President Muhammadu Buhari. The president added that any unresolved challenges faced by President Buhari in his 8 years, his administration will endeavor to resolve them. President Tinubu stated that his administration will continue to work from where President Buhari stopped to make the country better, create a vibrant economy, and secure the environment to bring more prosperity to the people. He said, and I read, President Buhari gave us the second Niger Bridge, he revamped Lagos-Ibadan Expressway, he gave us the Lagos-Ibadan and Warri-Itakwe rail lines, he completed Abuja-Kaduna rail line and Lekki Seaport, he built brand new airports among many other landmark economic projects. The Abuja-Kaduna-Kano Expressway, which he started, will be completed by my administration by the grace of God. Whatever unresolved challenges faced by former President Buhari in his 8 years, our administration will endeavor to resolve them. As I said during the campaigns, I inherited all his assets and liabilities. Our administration will continue to work from where President Buhari stopped to make our country better, create a vibrant economy, and secure the environment to bring more prosperity to our people. End quote. Elsewhere, the Edo State Governor, Godwin Obaseki, will on Thursday, January 18, 2024, play host to the governors of the South-South states for the Braced Bayelsa, Rivers, Akwa Ibom, Cross River, Edo and Delta Commission meeting. VOP News gathered that this was made known in a statement today by the Edo State Commissioner for Communication and Orientation, Chris Nekihari. Nekihari said the meeting, which will be held in Benin City, will be attended by the governors of Bayelsa, Doyediri, Rivers, Similai Fubara, Akwa Ibom, Pastor Umo Ena, Cross River, Basi Otu, and Delta State Sheriff Obowori. The Braced Commission was established in 2010 under Article 14 of the Braced Agreement and signed on June 13. Its objective is to promote economic cooperation, regional integration among the South-South states while contributing to the increasing standards of living of the people of the region. Now, several human rights organizations have asked U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken to designate Nigeria as a country of particular concern over the murder of hundreds of Christians. At least 24 interest organizations, which included religious groups led by Advancing American Freedom, Alliance Defending Freedom, the Hudson Institute, former Ambassador Sam Brownback, and former defense and national security officials, called for concern and called for action against Nigeria over the killings. The groups recalled the suspected herdsmen attacks on Plateau communities during the Yuletide. Over 150 were killed on Christmas Eve. The push to list Nigeria as CPC that is, a country, a particular concern, came after a Catholic-inspired think tank group, Inter-Society, claimed that Islamic militants have brutally murdered at least 52,250 Christians in the last 14 years. Led by its director, Ijeoma Egwuatu, the human rights advocacy group claimed that over 500 Christians were killed last year in January alone. It accused the Nigerian government at various levels of complicity in the killings of the worshippers, predicting that the most populous African nation may be on the brink of a religious war. On January 4, Mr. Blinken announced that he would designate some countries, including Iran and Russia, as CPC. However, Nigeria, notable for religious crises and killings, was left off the list. Now, senior officers of the United States Africa Command met with the Nigerian military last week to discuss issues bordering on strengthening cooperation, countering extremism, and achieving strategic regional security. Ambassador Linda Thomas-Greenfield disclosed in a statement on Monday. Marine Corps General Michael Langley and Sergeant Major Michael Woods met with Major General Ev Omojuru, Chief of Defense, Training and Operations, during a visit on January 10 and 11. Ms. Thomas-Greenfield stressed in her comments that the meeting was held as extremist groups exploit weak governance in the region. She said, around West Africa, extremist groups exploit weak governance and environmental stressors, causing instability. This insecurity not only affects the region, but also poses a global threat by fostering terrorism and exacerbating humanitarian crisis. The statement further disclosed that the military seniors discussed strengthening U.S.-Nigeria cooperation, countering extremism, and regional security. Mr. Langley emphasized that the United States continues to work closely with Nigeria, the biggest country in Africa in terms of population and economy, and a strong democracy. This highlights the outgoing friendship between the two nations and the importance of their partnership for shared benefits. To talk about this and more issues on the world news at 6, I actually have via the telephone a legal practitioner, a political and social affairs commentator, and that is Barrister Tunji Abdulhamid. Barrister Tunji Abdulhamid, good evening and welcome to the world news at 6 on Voice of the People 90.3 FM.
Sir, good evening.
Thank you.
Listeners, I give you especially good evening.
All right, thank you so much, Barrister Tunji Abdulhamid, for taking your time to be on the World News at 6. Barrister Tunji, here is the situation, all right? First of all, the president has said he would do all he can, right? He has gone spiritual on insecurity. It actually sounds a little bit funny because when I saw the story today while he was speaking at the book launch of Femi Adesina, former spokesperson to former President Muhammadu Buhari, he says that it was important for Nigerians to understand that the essence of security here, his administration intends to fight tooth and nail. And he also said that the agents of darkness causing insecurity in the country, he will make sure that they are completely eliminated. The president also used the opportunity to emphasize, so this is what he said, whatever unresolved challenges faced by President Buhari in his 8 years, our administration, that is his administration, will endeavor to resolve them, and that, as he said during his campaigns, he inherited all his assets and liabilities. Please, can you help us buttress what the president means by spiritually going on insecurity?
What do you say?
Can you help us buttress what the president means by saying he's going spiritual on insecurity? Is that how things will be resolved now? Going spiritual? If it obviously feels like maybe physically whatever machination strategy is no longer working, so the president intends to go spiritual, will that resolve the security situation in the country now?
Esther. Hello.
I can hear you. Please go ahead. I'm listening.
I can't hear your question properly.
What I said, the president intends to go spiritual on insecurity. Is that what will resolve the current spate of kidnappings in the country? Will that help?
The president summoning the chief security officers?
No, not summoning. The president intends to go spiritual on insecurity. He says that now he's going to go spiritual, that is, fight insecurity spiritually, eliminating agents of darkness causing insecurity in the country. So the question is that how we're going to resolve the spate of insecurity in the country?
Anyway, even though I can't get your question properly, but I know for me, the president as it is today, on my own part, is not doing. They're not showing that the security is being fought the way it should be fought. There is no any seriousness in terms of fighting corruption the way I've seen it. And the issue of making statements, rhetorics, and speeches will not solve the solution. What we are looking for is action. We are not seeing the action, and that's why you are seeing a lot of kidnap. Kidnap has taken the place of other bandits or whatever we're calling them. Recently, in the last few weeks, we have had about 4 or 5 or more major kidnap. So I think what the president should do is do that thing differently, rather than continue all this speech and then that will do this, will do that. We're no longer campaigning. The president is now in power. He needs to show us what he wants to do, and he starts doing it. Let's see it. It appears we are doing the same thing the same way, and we're expecting a different result. We are doing the same way in the sense that, look, our complaint before now is that we don't have enough personnel.
Okay.
And we are not recruiting. And yes, now we are not recruiting. The number of police that we have in the country cannot even secure us at all. I'm not sure they have a medium. They are not. They are less than that. And we have 12 million Nigerians, which is not up to what the standard. Like I hear, for example, in Lagos State, I don't know about other states, that the Lagos State population we have told is about 20 million.
Okay.
And we have been told that the police PR in Lagos State, the police in Lagos State are not more than 17,000. How can they secure us? And these 17,000 we are talking about, or majority of these people are talking about, even both in Abuja and everywhere. But
the president saying that the president
of them are with the PIP and PIP.
Barrister Tunji, the president saying now he wants to go spiritual by saying that he intends to eliminate all agents of darkness. Are we saying that with the kind of
who are these agents of darkness?
That's what the president is talking about. So right now they are going full on whether physical and spiritual, because it means with the statement that the president just made that physically they cannot handle this. So if they physically cannot handle this, then that means they have to go spiritual. So has the nation and Nigeria, the biggest country in Africa, we're resolving to sort out our security situation spiritually? Obviously, we do not have the physical machinations to strategize against this. Is that basically what the president's speech is all about?
You see, we all know. When I say we all know, I'm not talking about we know what our problem is here. We know that we have people who call bandits and who call kidnappers. We don't know them physically. We don't know them by face. But we have been told that some of them were arrested recently, and recently now I'm talking about the last administration.
All right.
None of them have been prosecuted. None of them have been taken to court. We have, like I said, we have a military, we have a police, because today in Nigeria now, soldiers are the ones doing the work of police.
Yes.
Police are no longer even seen as being able to do anything when it comes to fighting anything. So we have taken that away from the police. It's now a military war. And even the military, they are overwhelmed. And those are the issues we should be looking into, not just talking about as if we are still campaigning. What we're talking about is that, look, let's do things the right way. Let's do what will give us results. Let's recruit more. Let's improve on the welfare of those who are fighting. We have capable and quality police and what's it called? Particularly the military men. We have them. They can do this job. They have the capacity. They have done it before, but they are lacking in capacity. They are lacking. What is the capacity? I'm talking about personnel. They are lacking in that. We don't have enough personnel. They are lacking in encouragement in terms of mobilization, in terms of giving them what to boost their morale. We are hearing trillions of naira being budgeted for in terms of security.
Yes, Barrister Tunji.
None of this money are not getting to those who are fighting
let's even bring
the people in office are the one probably collecting the money.
Barrister
so
Tunji,
we are not doing the right thing.
Barrister
and we are expecting a different result. It's not possible. So the president should stop all these rhetorics and speeches.
Can you hear me?
And then do the.
Barrister Tunji, can you hear me?
I can hear you now.
The 2024 budget, just like you said, let me buttress what you just said, and let's be specific with the figures. For the 2024 budget, right? Defense and education topped the sectoral allocation. Now, it was allocated 5.43 trillion naira. So, for defense, you have 3.25 trillion naira. Right, for defense, it tops. That is the top in terms of the budget allocation for 2024. And if you have defense 3.25 trillion naira plus other supposed war machines they're going to acquire, arms and ammunition to fight this terrorists and whatever, why are we going spiritual in fighting this terrorist? Is it that the government, through its intelligence, do not know who these individuals are? Barrister Tunji, can you hear me?
Yeah, well, our issue is not about lack of money, as far as I'm concerned.
Lack of money?
It's not about lack of finance.
Oh, okay.
The monies are there, and we're only estimating that money. Allocating that money to that ministry, but we're not getting the result because this money are not utilized for the purpose for which they are budgeted. They are being cornered by people. You hear this one is in question for 2.1 billion, 3.1 billion, clinical billion. Some of them are always being questioned like that. So the money is going somewhere. And if we see, since we have been questioning people, we have been alleging people of corruption, none of them have been taken to court and convicted. None of them. There is no any proper conviction.
That is the problem. Yes.
So there is no deterrence regarding. So there is no political.
So that's basically why these individuals are brazen in their activities.
People will be alleged of banditry and kidnapping. And you'll be asking them, you'll be talking about amnesty for them.
Yeah.
Even those who are victims and IGP that they're not able to eat. And people who cause their problem will be given a special treatment. Some of them will be considering taking them abroad, considering giving them this and that.
Barrister Tunji, yes, it's
we pamper those who commit crime. We're not taking them against them. We're even considering giving them an answer.
It's quite unfortunate.
They are going to this client.
All right. Barrister Tunji, is quite unfortunate, I must tell you. Apparently, a couple of critics, international critics as well as security experts, they profiled this kidnapping in an ethnic and religious line. Now, let's go to several human rights organizations. They have asked the U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken to designate Nigeria as a country of particular concern. It's called CPC when you declare a country of particular concern. At the moment, the countries that are declared a country of particular concern is, of course, as of January 4th, the countries designated for now is Iran and Russia. Now, these individuals are asking that Nigeria should be included in that list because of the killings that have been taking place. Specifically, they went on the fact that supposedly, based on the report, the groups recalled the suspected herdsmen attacks on plateau communities during the Yuletide, whereby over 150 were killed on Christmas Eve. They went ahead to say that the push to list Nigeria as CPC came after a Catholic-inspired think tank group, Inter-Society, claimed that Islamic militants have brutally murdered at least 52,250 Christians in the last 14 years. Do you think Nigeria should be also in the list of countries of particular concern with the incessant spate of kidnappings, killings, supposed religious atrocities carried out in some states, in some communities in the country? And if that takes place, what will be the detrimental effect to the country?
Come again, particularly the last paragraph.
I said, if that takes place, what will be the detrimental effect to the country if Nigeria is placed or listed amongst the countries by the United States of America, countries of particular concern? If Nigeria is part of that list, what will be the detrimental concern? Because right now, Nigerians in diaspora are not finding it funny with the tags attached to them. You know, they call us ethnically biased. They say that we are fighting a religious war. There are several supposed speculations, or rather talks, about what is going on in the country. And it almost feels like we're roaming headless. So do you think Nigeria should be listed?
I think that I get you rightly. You are talking about the impact of what is happening.
No, not what is happening. I'm telling you that international organizations are asking the U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken to designate Nigeria as a country of particular concern. And I'm asking, what would be the detrimental effect if Nigeria is in that list? Can you hear me, Barrister Tunji Abdulhamid?
Your line breaks somewhere along the line.
Okay. All right. We're sorry.
Like I said, you see, this issue we are having, this insecurity crisis we are having, has an implication in terms of our foreign direct investment pursuits. The Nigerians, the people all over the world are following what is happening, and it will discourage them from coming to Nigeria to do their investment. So, and that's why I said the government should do the right thing by making the environment conducive. And making the environment conducive includes ensuring that there is security. In fact, security, especially when the security is one of the major responsibilities of the government. Government should ensure that we have this thing. And when we have it now becoming, our president is not showing enough concern as far as I'm concerned. We have insecurity, we have institutions whereby hundreds of people will be killed. And the president will not even bother to go there.
We're not even going to make statements regarding those issues. He will just do as if nothing happened. He will continue. Like yesterday now, we are talking about the issue of people that have been killed based on by their kidnappers.
Yes.
As I don't know about them. Yes, the president was in the Imo State doing
inauguration with Hope
ceremony and all those things. They are not showing any empathy. They are not showing any concern.
But the president told us that he's watching the news.
That is now a normal thing. The president told the government doesn't even show that respect.
The president said he watches the news and it pains him when he comes on and puts on the news and sees all the pains and rigosity the Nigerians are going through, and that he's actually asking Nigerians to be patient. So in the spate of this insecurity, the president is begging us to be patient, that he understands our pain. So as the murdering, the slaughtering is going on, the rustling, the displacement is ongoing, he's asking Nigerians to be patient, that he goes through their pains. He also understands that the removal of fuel subsidy too is having a big effect on the people, but that it was necessary for that because just a few Nigerians were benefiting from it. So the president is asking us to be patient while a lot of people are dying in the process. Do you think that we should try?
How long are we going to be patient? How long? We have been asked to be patient for insecurity. We have been asked to be patient for everything. From day one, this is almost 8 months. 8 months. By the time you know it now, it will be almost 2 years. And people will continue to say, be patient, be patient. And then at that time, they say, 4 years is not enough. Yes, you see, we need to change it. The government needs to do more. Be proactive and do more. This attitude of us sitting behind and expect a crisis to happen somewhere before we start talking or taking decisions will not help us. We need to do things and proactive. And one of the proactive approach is to engage more people, more personnel. It's to improve on the welfare of these people who are on the front wall. It's to also give them that confidence and just behind. Who have been found to have been guilty of committing these crimes should be taken to court and prosecuted accordingly, and people should be punished. When we see all this, things will change. As it is today, there is no punishment. People are being encouraged where I see it to even commit more crime. As far as I'm concerned, those who are committing crime are more emboldened these days. They are not doing it without a fear of favor, or fear of any threat from anybody. So we need to let them know that look, we have more power than you, and we can deal with this. Then in that regard, they will restrain themselves. But as it is today, they are not restrained. They are just doing the way they like, and then they're attacking people. And then, unfortunately, again, we are doing no, it's not unfortunate. Although it's unfortunate as well. Crowdfunding, and they are seeing us bringing money together, and then so if you do this, people will even parent and then sympathize and bring money. That's what they do. And that's how you see they have a plan. The one now, when they kidnap the key one, so that people will say, hey, let's go out looking for money. That's what they are doing now. So we need to call this new style by these kidnappers and the criminals. We need to call them their names and then they fight them headlong. That's why we'll get it right.
Baratunje, thank you so much, honestly speaking, for your contribution on the World News at 6 I sincerely do appreciate your input.
Thank you for having me. Nice to be with you. Thank you.
You're welcome. Well, in reaction to the spate of insecurity and supposedly on the calls of Nigerians on the president to do the needful, he currently is in a closed-door meeting with service chiefs at the presidential villa in Abuja. Now, the agenda of the meeting is not yet known, but if the president has gathered with service chiefs, obviously it's concerning the spate of insecurity specifically along the Abuja-Kaduna route, and that is where the president resides at Abuja. So if you have the capital city supposedly under siege, then it is important for something to be done as soon as possible. Well, apparently, you do know that while the agenda of the meeting is not yet known, the president summoned the security chiefs concerning the growing cases of banditry attacks in the nation's capital. I think this has gone beyond banditry. On January 5, gunmen raided a community in the Buari Area Council of Abuja, abducted 10 people, including a family of 6 sisters. On Sunday, the abductors killed Nabiha, one of the 6 sisters, purportedly as a warning to the family for failing to pay the ransom of 60 million naira. Now, following the development, the Minister of the Federal Capital Territory, Nyesom Wike, held a meeting with heads of security agencies, and right now the president is in a closed-door meeting with the service chiefs to discuss the situation concerning security. So let's see, possibly we'll have a good note out of that conclusion, and we'll begin to see some arrests being taken out or some possibly strategic mount up on certain locations across the country. To wrap up the world news at 6 here again are the top stories. You heard that the Inspector General of Police summons Task Force Tactical Squad Commander over killings and kidnappings. President Tinubu to eliminate agents of darkness on insecurity. Fuba, Diri, other South governors to meet Obaseki. 24 U.S. organizations petition Blinken to designate Nigeria as CPC over mass killings of Christians, and U.S. meets Nigerian military as extremist groups ravage West Africa. That's a wrap on the World News at 6. My name is Esther Mwachuku. Good evening. Thank you for staying with us. Up next is the Evening Rush with Precious. A new dawn, a new story from the station that keeps you informed. Breaking news, fresh from the scene.
We have a lot all over the country who have